Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader, where last time we made it to the planet of Janus, where we got, once again, ambushed by rebels. They're probably heretics, because that's the way things go. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they are loyal servants of the Emperor, and the governor here is the heretic, and they're trying to stop her. We don't know yet. Our job right now is to figure out what's going on. So we need to go around, talk to people. We also have to talk to Yrliet. Was that how I decided I was going to say her name until they said it? I think so. He was outside, I believe. So let's go ahead and start interrogating everybody we see. You, servant. How may I serve you? You can serve me by telling me what is going on. Are there more spots to go in this building? The estate warden. The estate is under control. You are completely safe, your ladyship. Yeah, I've heard that before.
The world will bow.
By this side. No. It's an honor. Yes, it is. To the estate here. Initiative determines how quickly your character reacts to dangers and challenges. Characters with low initiatives act later in battle than others. I really do like the splash art for this world. The sort of futuristic architecture with the jungle aesthetic is actually, I don't know, really striking to me. I like it a lot. Plus with all the skull and kind of death iconography that's in Warhammer, having like the life of a jungle. I don't know. It's really cool to me. Okay, so we've already went around this area, so now we just need to look around for suspicious individuals. And I believe we know where the gazebo is. Oh, this person looks like they are important. They have a name. Vinzilex. Draped in a red cloak, the Magos's body barely looks human. Wires, tubes, and metal manipulators turn him into a whimsical machine, while implants hide his face behind a sinister mask. The tech priest intermittently dictates something in Technolingua to the servo's skull floating next to him, but at your approach, he falls silent and offers a reserved bow. Greetings, your ladyship. Lex Mechanic Vinzilex. How may I serve you? Pascal and the Lex Mechanic exchange trills of Benharic greetings. The series of sounds issued by Vinzilex sounds much longer and more differential than those of Pascal. You know, something I've been thinking about religion in this game. Are there like worshippers of the Omnissiah that aren't tech priests? Like, it seems like if you're not a worshipper of the Omnissiah, you're a worshipper of the Emperor. If you're like, you know, a good human. But do they have like just regular people who like go to church for the Omnissiah? I don't know if we've met anybody like that. I know that at the pilgrimage they talked about like lay persons and stuff like that. So maybe there are. We just haven't really run into any of them. It seems like everybody like respects the Omnissiah at least. So I don't know. Or is it kind of like, if you worship the Emperor, you also kind of worship the Omnissiah to an extent because it's an allowed religion? I'm not really sure if I've discovered the distinction there. But I was thinking about, like, my character, Imogen. You know, she's very technically savvy. Maybe she's, you know, maybe she goes to Omnissiah Church a little more than she goes to Emperor Church. I don't know. We'll see. What do you do here on Janus? The tech priest's mechanical voice comes from the speaker on his neck. By the order of the Adeptus Mechanicus, I have been entrusted with the management of the Adeptus Administratum in order to catalog agronomic data and analyze information about the planet during the process of subjugating it to the will of the Imperium. Be blessed, tech brother. Your diligence and the diligence of those like you turns anarchy into order, and bestows classification to knowledge. One of Pascal's mechadendrites lightly touches the Leximechanic's body. The tech priest bows respectfully in return, clearly a little startled. Tell me about Yanis. Initializing report. The planet's soil possesses a unique composition suitable for the re-engineering of the planet and the mass production of foodstuffs. Significant cultivation of the Eastern Hemisphere with the aim of improving production, processes, and logistics operations. Traces of xenoactivity that do not pose an immediate threat to ongoing operations. Undesirable pathologies, or flora and fauna, have been noted, which may pose a threat in the short term. It would be crazy if we ever get to the point in humanity where we can reliably travel between systems, and we find a planet that's suitable for agriculture, and we just make the entire planet a food source. Like, I wonder how much an entire planet could feed if you just dedicated every piece of land on it to growing food. That would be crazy. I guess Earth is pretty dedicated to making food for the most part, right? I'd imagine that most of the land that is used by humans is used for making food. What pathologies in the flora and fauna? Traces of xenoactivity. And what are these what's the xenoactivity you're talking about? According to data obtained during the initial survey, ruined structures of non-human origin were noted in different sectors of the planet, but I did not have the administrative capacity to study them in more detail. For now, I must defer to the quest for knowledge. The lexomechanic speaks, the last words with distinct envy, his eyes fixed on Magos Hanuman. What pathologies in the flora and fauna? Genetic and chemical pathologies, your ladyship. Harmless species mutate and become aggressive, while plants change their chemical composition and become poisonous. This is happening more and more often, and if you do not take action, the ecosystem of the world will be irreparably disrupted. The changes may be artificial, but... I don't know what I was reading there. Has the possibility even been considered that something is manipulating the ecosystem to reduce our living space? Not at all, Venerable Magos. Our tech comrades from the Magos biologists, are humble workers, not warriors. They could not have come up with a thought of such a militant nature. The mind must be open to all forms of knowledge. I order you to commence a check. In the event that your account of the indolence of their minds is confirmed, I will petition for the appropriate penance. Interesting. It is often what seem to be insignificant anomalies like these that lead to greater troubles. How is the governor dealing with these undesirable pathologies? I have analyzed the genome of the affected species, and I am currently developing suppressor genes to make the planet's organisms resistant to pathology. But so far, I have not been able to solve the problem. Further exploration of the planet would perhaps speed up these processes, but the administrative apparatus has imposed a ban on expeditions that are not directly aimed at improving production. Let's talk about something else. I'm listening. How many servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus are there on the planet? According to the data stored in my cogitator, all infrastructure nodes for food harvesting and processing have their own contingent of technomats. Almost said technomancers. Technomats. The total number amounts to 253. Correction. Based on the latest data, the figure is 211 units. Okay, what happened to the other 32? I didn't do my math right there, did I? How are things with you and your fellows? Simple math's hard. The current situation on the planet is assessed as stable. The progress of the prospect is assessed as encouraging. We will speak later. As you wish. Alright, so she's not doing everything she can to fix the pathologies.
The world trembles beneath
But
my feet.
that could be because, you know, she's trying to focus on production, which I guess at this stage isn't really useful because she can't export anything. So I don't know. Yrliet.
Yrliet Lenevis greets you, Elantak.
She's a companion. She talked. That means she's a companion, basically. The bizarre creature before you only vaguely resembles a typical human. An elongated body, slender limbs, pointed features. Every aspect of its appearance is unnatural and alien. The creature turns its head to you.
Regrettable news. This creature is not a mutant as the locals assumed, but a representative of the Eldari, one of the myriad enemies of humanity. You should not trust this creature. Do not communicate with it any longer than necessary.
Alright, got a little bit of racism going on. Although, seems like in this world maybe it's more caution, hopefully. I don't know. He knows their language, but I guess that doesn't exclude him from being racist. Although, like, let's be honest, in this world, there's probably a lot of people who are racist. Hamrix tosses out some words in a strange language. There's a hint of musicality to it, but the interrogator's rendering is harsh and off-putting. After meeting the gaze of the unknown being, Hamrix turns to you.
There is no need to mutilate my language, monkey. I speak yours well enough
You
to
call us a
converse
monkey?
with Elantark without a translator. And since you have discerned my path, I will be direct in my speech. My soul is nothing kin to yours. Your kind call us Xenos, as if we are all as one. I came here to protect the Lilithon by assisting the governor against her enemies. Will you hear me, or be blinded to sense by your precepts?
You have 10 seconds to get out of my sight, Xenos, starting now. Rogue Trader Von Valancius will never speak to vermin such as Xenos as if they were equals. So, if you want to live, you will address me with the proper respect. I'll speak with you, Yrliet, Laenavis. I know she already said. I wish I had listened harder when she said her name. But keep your hands where I can see them. To be honest, the only part I understood was that you have no desire to fight. There's one thing we have in common. I don't converse with the enemies of humanity. We're not gonna straight up attack her. Like, even if we were leaning towards that, I feel like that'd be a dumb thing to do until we get information from her. And I don't know how similar. Like, this is the first Xenos we've met, so I don't know how similar they are to, like, the arch enemy and its agents. Because every time we've met an agent of the arch enemy, we've come to learn that we probably shouldn't trust anything they say or do, right? Is that going to be the same for Xenos? It seems like to an extent, yes. But they're not. I guess I don't really know their motives yet, but they don't seem like they're out to just, like, destroy everything like Chaos is. There's a good chance that they might be a little bit more gray in terms of their alignment, if we want to start labeling things like that. We're gonna tell her to keep her hands where we can see them. Alex makes a sound of disapproval.
Reckless.
Must I remind you, Master Van Kalox, that the warrant endows rogue traders with the sacred right to have dealings with Xenos when necessary? That exceptional memory of yours seems to have let you down.
Got him.
I have banished the shadow of doubt from your thoughts regarding my nature. Now you will answer my question. Why have you sought me out?
That seems to be a bit of a overstatement. You banished the shadow of doubt. Like, I was literally saying, hey, don't try anything funny. I still have plenty of doubts. Yrliet inclines her head in an infinitesimal amount. So you're the governor's mysterious helper. Why are you helping the governor? What do you know about the rank and file rebels? Do you know who is behind the uprisings on the planet? How did you come to be on Yanis? Why did you call me Elantak? I spoke to the Magos in charge of operations on the planet. He says something has gone wrong with this world. There are spontaneous mutations, animal attacks. Maybe you have something to say about that? Die, Xenos! I must take my leave. You're the governor's mysterious helper.
I am. them, Elantark. My hand parried the death promised to the ruler of these people, and I aided you in battle against the Lost Ones.
Why are you helping the governor?
This world is in distress. I wish to protect it from unnecessary suffering.
Why? What do you know about the rank and file rebels?
Only that they threaten the established order. There is much risk to this world should the ruler die.
Yrliet's face is unreadable, but you detect a strange tension in her voice, as though she's choosing her words carefully. Do you know who is behind the uprisings on the planet?
There is a malevolence here that drives your kin down the path of violence.
Your answers are not particularly helpful.
But you are not asking for help, Elantark. You are merely asking questions, the answers to which are either unimportant or wreathed in shadow. Explore this place. Speak to those who know. A simple task for you, and an insurmountable challenge for me, since my very appearance provokes fear and suspicion. When you learn anything, tell me. Perhaps then my answers will be helpful to your search.
How'd you come to be on Yanis?
The world you call Janus was
What?
once created by the will of my kin. I have far more right to be on the Lilithon than any of you.
God damn it, game, don't confuse me with giving me different pronunciations. Why do you call me Elantark?
Because that is what you are. Elantark means stranger from the darkness amidst the stars. You descended on flame-winged machines in a dark time when the air of the planet is soaked in blood and pain. Will you be the one to bring peace to the Lilithon?
I spoke to the Magos in charge. A lot of mutations going on. Maybe you have something to say about that?
The Lilithon is expressing her wrath. For centuries, this world has resisted the brutality inflicted upon it by soulless machines and unmindful creatures. But what the machine man told you, that is something else. Something more frightening. The planet is fighting an evil that has taken root in its very cradle.
So, she said if we get more information, she might be able to help us more. So we have two options, realistic options. We're not going to kill her. At least not yet. We either take her with us, which would obviously, you know, make it easier to get the information we need from her, because she could just tell us what she knows as soon as we get more information. Or we could just leave her here and come back whenever we get new information. I know Hyrix isn't going to be happy about this. She is a sniper, so I'm probably not going to have her in my party very much. But having two snipers wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. If you want, you can join me.
So be it. I will go with you.
Yrliet is silent for several seconds, her gaze fixed on something beyond you. Slowly, drawing out her words, she replies.
With all due respect, are you sure this is the right decision? We know nothing about this Xenos or why she has wormed her way into the governor's confidence. As far as I can tell, she isn't especially keen to help us, and yet, for some obviously dark reason, she has decided to take part in our investigation.
My judgments and choices are for me alone, Monkey. If uniting with your mistress will bring peace to the Lilithon, then it is the true path. Do not get in my way if you value your next breath.
You have not yet spent enough time among humans if you think threats will dispose me more favorably toward you. The decision is yours, rogue trader. But let me be clear. I will terminate your pet Xenos at the first sign of her non-compliance.
That's what I'd like to hear, I think. Protect me, yeah?
I am ready, Elantark.
Don't think
Let us go forth.
Although I don't think his words were saying that I'll protect you. It's more like, hey, I really don't like her. Yrliet is a Xenos, one of the Oceani. She is a ranger who follows the path of the outcast, and her skills in ranged combat are without equal. Well, I mean, I don't know, mine are pretty good. Yrliet does not use human weapons and can wield either Aldari armor or, if she learns the required feature, Drukari armor. Yrliet's unique ability instantly ends her turn. However, at the start of her next turn, she will make an attack that always hits its target. That could be useful. Okay, yeah, we wanted to leave Argenta behind for this anyway, so that's good. Yeah, and you know what? Like, I mean, I don't really know the lore and the inner workings behind the Xenos yet of this universe, but we know that the Xenos are up to something. They're going around stealing suns and things like that, so if we can befriend one of them, or at least gain an ally in one of them, we might be able to get information that's useful. Alright, so archetype, she's an operative. Let's go ahead and look at what she's got. So she's got awareness here, so she's got high awareness. Is that what we're seeing? 80 awareness, yeah, holy crap. And she's an operative. She's got exposed weakness and dismantling attack. What did she... Why doesn't... Oh, here we go. She took the sharpshooter. Move this turn. They gain 6 ballistics and 1 damage for every 5 cells between them and the target. Okay. No need to show off here. Perception. Nimble. So 10% to dodge. Ballistics calculations. If the operative attacks a target affected by an exploit from a distance of 9 cells or farther, that attack deals 15% damage. More perception. She got precise attack, which we've gotten before. I think Adira had it. For the next attack against targets affected by an exploit, that target's cover efficiency will be reduced by 5 plus perception, so 6 times stack it, so 11 times whatever the stacks are. That could be really good. You can reduce it by 100%. This attack will have 5 and a higher hit chance. Yeah, it seems like really good for her with her perception bonus. Awareness up by another 10. Fresh targets whenever the operative attacks an enemy that is at full wounds, gets 16% more damage, which is 10 plus perception bonus. Okay, yeah, okay, she's gonna be a good sniper. 2 more movement. Dismantling attack. Intimidates all enemies, reducing their dodge and armor by 15%. Lore knowledge Xenos. Lore knowledge Xenos. Which means her Xenos is probably pretty high, yeah, 80. Ballistics plus 5, 55 ballistics. This time she got insightful precision. Precise attack grants the operative a bonus to perception equal to the number of exploits removed divided by 2. Okay. Medicae up by 10. Perfect spot. While in cover, the operative gains 25% cover efficiency, 15 perception, and 15 ballistic skills. Okay, so her ballistics is going to be at 60 when she's attacking. And her perception will be up to 7. A 7 bonus. Damn. She's good at laser weapons. Minus 20% penalty to dodge against laser weapon attacks. Comprehensive analysis. Has 2 or more exploits. That target suffers 1 additional exploit. Ballistic skills go up. Intelligence goes up. She got swift sight. In my sights costs only 1 AP. And doesn't really say what she got here. Unless I'm picking. Am I picking this? No. We're picking these. Then metastyle vulnerability of priority targets and dispatching them by any means necessary. High damage, dodge, and dodge reduction, threat, elimination, hit, and run. I think I don't want to have another bounty hunter, if I'm being honest. She seems like she should be a good assassin. I can't remember if I was told assassins are more of a melee thing, though. Let me see here. A single opening for each enemy on one of the enemy's sides. Whenever the assassin hits an opening, they deal an additional 10% of target's max wound damage. After an attack, the opening is moved to the opposite side of the enemy. Openings of each enemy that were not hit by the assassin during their assassin's turn are moved to a random side of the enemy at the start of the assassin's next turn. It doesn't say anything about it being a melee thing. We're gonna go assassin. The assassin makes an attack that does not account toward the limit of attacks per turn and does not block the assassin's movement, but there's 25% of base damage if the attack is successful. The target suffers the hemorrhage effect. Takes lethality divided by 10 rending damage. That ignores armor deflection. What's lethality again? That is equal to dodge or dodge reduction, whichever is higher. So her dodge is 60%, right? No, her dodge is 100%. Holy crap. She's got 100% lethality? That sounds good. Elusive Shadow. Per target, the enemy's attack. Assassin can move through enemies. Gains agility percent bonus dodge and perception bonus dodge reduction. Okay, so 6% dodge. Okay. Assassin attacks deal 10% additional damage. All have cover provided. Provides the assassin with a 50% cover efficiency. Okay. Poised to strike. Makes the enemy suffer 2 times assassin's agility bonus. Her agility is not bad either. So this isn't a... This seems like it might be a... one creature within a 10-cell radius. Is that... One creature within weapons range. Yeah, so that's not contingent on me being close. Dance Macabre. So weapon skills is usually a you know, a melee thing. Killing Edge. 40% dodge to the target for this attack. If the attack hits, it deals an additional lethality divided by 7 rounded down damage. If this attack hits an opening, its additional damage is increased by lethality percent. So, whew. Fainting attack. Single target attack will have 50% armor penetration penalty with a minimum of 0% armor penetration and plus 10 lethality. If it's a ranged attack, its target is forced to move to the closest cell in a 3-cell range with no adjacent cover facing toward the assassin. That sounds really good too. I think we are going to get Death Whisper though. Take one of the recommended ones first here. Alright, choose a talent. Let's see. Archetype talents here. Create an opening from an assassin's allies at the start of the assassin's turn. A new opening is created on the enemy on whichever side is closest to the assassin. Inevitable innervation. Each use of aim for the opening on the target reduces the target's dodge and dodge reduction by 2% per stack. An eye for the unscathed. Attacks an enemy that is at full wounds. The assassin gains 20% dodge and dodge reduction against that enemy until the end of the assassin's next turn. That could be good. That seems like it might pair well with the operative one we got. Fresh Wounds, I think is what it was called. Or Fresh Target. Professional Acumen. Every turn, the first use of an assassin ability costs 0 AP. That sounds good. Just get a free assassin ability every turn. Perfect Opening. The assassin gains lethality percent chance to deal 5% of target's max wounds more damage to an opening. That's also really good. Bringer of Doom. Whenever the assassin attacks an enemy with a single target attack, this attack reduces the target's armor and dodge by minus 10% until the end of the assassin's turn. Does not stack. Okay. I do think this is maybe a clear one to get. That seems like it's just super good. So we're going to grab that. Professional Acumen. The assassin makes an attack with the current weapon against an enemy. This attack cannot miss and deals 50% more damage. It also deals an additional damage equal to 25% of the target's missing wounds. The assassin's dodge reduction, armor penetration, parry reduction are doubled for this attack. Nice. 1 more AP, and should we get perception? I'm gonna get agility. Get agility up to 50. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at her gear.
The songs of my ancestors speak of stars long forgotten and worlds long gone.
She's using an Alderi long
It's a
rifle.
shame that you lack the capacity to understand even a single note.
These bracers grant the wearer a 5 bonus tech use and increase the damage from flame weapons. And their allies are immune to damage from wearer's grenades. Immune to fire. Endure. 50% armor against warp. That's really good. Okay, why am I not using that on my melee people? I guess we'll get the warp damage here. What else we got? Once per turn, when the wearer scores a critical hit with a pistol. Okay, no. 10% bonus to awareness. Puts her at 90 for awareness. That's really good. 15 in Medicae. Single attacks with bolter weapons automatically hit their target. That seems like a really good one, too. 5 fellowship, 10 commerce. Dogmatic. Okay. I guess we'll give the Medicae one. You got decent Medicae. Don't have a bolter weapon. I mean, I guess, you know, until we get something better, that puts your tech use at 40. Not that you're ever going to be using that, because we have Pascal in the party. But, you know, what is this? Oop, I didn't mean to do that. What's this? Okay, pain blocker. What's this? Give you that. Give you a stim. Don't have any armor for you. We do have weapons. Wanderer's Portent. And this is better. This rifle can only perform Deadeye shot attacks. However, whenever the wielder scores a critical hit with a single shot attack, they get an additional attack this turn. Wait, what? But I can't do single shots. Am I not understanding that? Unless this is still considered a single shot. I'm not sure. But this is better than what you're using. So I'll give you that. And a ghost sword as your secondary weapon, sure. There you go. In case you ever need to use melee. Okay, I don't think there's anything else I can give you. We have the Starbreaker Lance weapon. You can get that on our ship. Alright, so I also want to check your summary here. You have no alignment. I don't know if that's just how it's going to be for you or what. Should we read her biography? I kind of want to, yeah. Few can claim to have survived an encounter with the Xenos, and even fewer to have struck up a friendship with one of these creatures. However, the privileges of a rogue trader allow one to make acquaintances, even among the children of Yrliet. That is what the kin of Yrliet Lenavis, a mysterious and taciturn Aldari, call themselves. The path of the outcast led Yrliet to the agri-world of what she calls Janus, but everybody else says Janus, where she met the rogue trader. In joining her crew, Yrliet hopes to travel to the distant stars and uncover the mystery surrounding the demise of her craft world. The Aldari will go to any length to accomplish her mission, taking even the most desperate measures. We should read everybody's biography. Pascal Hahnemann is a venerable magos of the Adeptus Mechanicus. For the glory of the machine god Omnissiah, he performs sacred maintenance algorithms and protects the blessed mystery of technology from the ignorant. As a member of the Explorator fleet, Pascal leads an external crusade in search of sacred knowledge. After meeting the rogue trader on the hive world of Rykad Minoris, Pascal joined the Lord Captain's retinue. He hopes that such a powerful patron will help him find his long-lost mentor, whose mysterious message prompted Pascal to embark on his journey. Seneschal Abelard of Vessarion is one of the closest associates of the late Theodora von Valancius. He has spent a decade serving the Rogue Traders Protectorate, and he clearly intends to spend another decade keeping a close eye on every negligent servant of or undertrained officer. The elderly Seneschal does not show it, but the death of Theodora, whom he faithfully served for many years, shocked him. Abelard is willing to do anything to ensure that Theodora's successor becomes a brilliant rogue trader worthy of her predecessor. I don't know about not showing that he's shocked by it, but sure, game. The character's biography is not available. Interesting. Agent of the Golden Throne, interrogator of Ordo Xenos, right hand of Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar. Heinrich von Calix is a sanctioned psyker in the service of the Holy Order of the Emperor's Inquisition. Is bestowed with many titles and considerable powers, which he directs towards one goal: the fight against the enemies of humankind. Von Calix is aboard the Von Valancius void ship by order of the Lord Inquisitor. In his battle against servants of the archenemy who threaten the Coronis expanse with untold calamity, Heinrich is ready to sacrifice the remains of his own humanity. But if he does, will he then be any different from the monsters he fights? It's always the question we ask ourselves, huh? Oh wow, we have a lot. Oh, that's kind of cool that we got a history of all of our important decisions. I like that. Neat. Alright. Everybody with me? And now I want to get in combat to see how she plays. It's gonna make me look like a bad sniper though, which is a little unfortunate. Oh god, so many people talking. What a splendid estate. I've seen pics of our ancient manors in the House Orselli archives. This place is very similar. It's a pity you were denied the chance to grow up in such surroundings. I can just picture a young lady navigator relaxing with a book in the garden after her lessons.
Embrace true power.
Okay, anybody up here? This is new, isn't it? I don't remember doing it. The place seems like it was recently disturbed. Dust has been swept from the stones. There's some unidentifiable dirt between the cracks, and you notice several thin scratches on the surface. Okay. Don't really have any real direction as to where I should be going.
The world will bow.
We're just looking around for evidence, I guess. Here's all the bodies. I can loot one of them, apparently. Pay no mind to the bodies. We are waiting for the estate to be cleared completely. What is this? These are marks of corruption, not decay or disease. But how? The deceased's arms and face are covered in small boils that ooze cloudy pus, even after death. Dried berries, wrinkled, fibrous berries covered in short fuzz. Do you have something to say about that?
What is it?
I guess I can't just talk to her, huh?
Let's seize the opportunity.
Can I go out there? No. Faster, faster! The sooner we smoke out this louse, the sooner we can report the clearance operation is complete. A hulking man dressed in a uniform, marking him out as an officer of the gubernatorial wardens, is closely monitoring his subordinates as they surround the building. Sensing you approach, He whips around, his face going pale, and he offers a low bow. Your ladyship, please do not stray too close to the building. One of the terrorists from today's attack has holed himself up in there. He could be dangerous. What's going on here? Who are you? You're obviously busy. Who are you? I'm the Madman Governor's... Oh, the Madman. I'm the Madam Governor's security officer. I regret that you had to witness today's incident, your ladyship. I assure you nothing of the sort will ever happen again. That's good. What's going on here? Ready to report, your ladyship. We conducted a sweep of the area after the attack. All the assassins were arrested or neutralized except for one. The officer scowls darkly. He sealed himself inside. He already injured 2 wardens who tried to reach him. But there's no need to worry. We'll poison him and clear the last dregs of dirt from the estate. I only have one question, officer. Why have you not already done it? The rogue trader is here, and the longer you delay, the more you put her life needlessly at risk. The officer flinches slightly at Abelard's snarl. It is inexcusable, your ladyship. The barrels of poison were only just delivered, but we're ready to begin now. You're going to poison the rebel? Who is he? What's so special about this building? I want to talk to the person inside. Who is he? The officer's brow furrows. To tell the truth, your ladyship, I'm more concerned with clearing the area right now than with his identity. We're not expecting to get any valuable intel from him, unless we find something on his corpse after we've done our job. You're going to poison him. The officer nods. We're using insecticide from our stockpiles, your ladyship. We don't have any military-grade poisons, but we don't need them. Not for this parasite. What's so special about this building? It's one of the utility buildings. Fortunately, it was empty at the time of the attack. There were no potential hostages or innocent people inside. If you ask me, I think this was the first place the killer came to when he was beating his retreat. We managed to round up all the others, but this one holed himself up in here. This is not an empty utility building, but an inactive backup crypt for storing refrigerant and freezing equipment. This is obvious. Your ignorance is depressing, servant. Sorry. I want to talk to him. Are you sure? It's not exactly safe, your ladyship. The officer's eyes involuntarily sweep over you, sizing you up. Alright, fine. I'll take a look around after you finished up. You dare to question me? Out of my way. I want to solve this problem without too much blood. Yeah, you dare question me? The officer seems to remember himself and offers another low bow. Forgive me, your ladyship. Act as you see fit. At the officer's signal, the other wardens take a differential step back, clearing your path to the door. Thank you.
Powers unseen uncover my path.
When you approach the solid-looking door, a high, boyish voice shouts out, "Piss off! You won't take me alive? Better put a bullet in my brain than let the governor's dogs get their hands on me." I am Imogen von Valancius, rogue trader and sovereign of this planet. In the name of the Emperor, open this door. Examine the door, break down the door, pick the door. Address the officer. I'm done. Proceed with the clearance operation. So 36% chance there, 85% chance there, 75% chance there, 60% chance there. Let's go ahead and examine the door. The door looks solid and formidable, but you notice dark marks on the hinges, a sure sign that the material is degraded. The lock doesn't look new either. With a suitable tool, it could easily be opened. We'll talk to him, that's what we came here to do. We succeeded. For a long time, nothing happens. Then, the door opens with a quick click. The space is small, the corners filled with inky black shadows, but you can still make out the person in the room. He is desperately gripping a discharged laser gun in his hands. The rebel looks at you in amazement. It really is you. The young man, practically a boy, falls to his knees and stretches out his body to his bloody hands toward you. His clothes are burned on one side and grimy with baked-in blood. Your ladyship, have mercy. You are the sovereign of this planet. Only you have the power to save us. Interesting. Execute him. Save you from what? From Governor Vyat. Everybody here knows what she's doing to us. We put up with it for a long time, hoping that somebody would intervene and help us. but nobody ever did. She's turned the whole world into a slaughterhouse. People are rounded up like rocks from the settlements, supposedly to go to the palace, and they've never been seen again. Her servants pour something over the fields, and then people lose their minds. You start hearing voices and seeing evil spirits. And while we're dying, she's sitting behind our white walls and feasting on our bones. Alright, maybe my earlier assessment of the situation might be correct, that these aren't heretics, and that the governor's a heretic, and they're trying to stop her. Okay. Yrliet's face twists. Sacrifices, madness, pain, and death. Even in so primitive a society as this, such rites seem senseless, not worthy of such efforts. What is this? A random quirk of nature? Or something darker? I was taught that peasants have a tendency to exaggerate their suffering due to sloth and weakness of spirit. But this young man, vermilion thorns pierce every centimeter of his body, and gray shackles bind his hands, feet, and neck. There are no lies in his words, only terror and desperation without end. You're telling me people are seeing evil spirits? Who is behind the rebels? How dare you rebel against a vassal of the Imperium? You're telling me people are seeing evil spirits? Yes. Others are going feral and attacking their loved ones, and then there's... The boy lowers his voice. People say that in some settlements, well, they've stopped upholding the law altogether. Imperial law and the law of basic human decency. People are turning into animals. Who's behind the rebels? He swallows nervously and looks at you with fear. Your ladyship, I beg you, don't ask me that. I can't sell out my brethren. It's over for me, but the others, I won't betray them. There will be no end to the war on this planet until I get a handle on the situation. But to do that, I need to meet with your leader. Tell me, or I'll tear this world apart to get rid of the garbage like you and your brethren. How dare you rebel against a vassal of the Imperium? Give the rebel an easy death. The people waiting outside will put you through far worse torment than I will. Goodbye. I'm done listening to you, rebel. There's a good chance we'll succeed this. I need to meet your leader. The boy hesitates for a few seconds, and then his head drops limply. As long as you keep your word. I have never been in their camp. None of us have. Only the chief saw one person from the base. He came a few times bringing weapons and orders. He said he represented a greater force than we could imagine, but he said that the governor's dogs will pay for their reprisals in the settlements. But that's not where they're hidden. They keep their distance from ordinary folk. We have it all worked out so that if anyone gets caught, the others aren't caught with them. But I swiped the chief's box. I thought, after I killed the governor, I could use the message coordinates to find the base and hide out there. The boy retrieves a box from his pocket and holds it out to you with a shaking hand. That's everything I know, your ladyship. Get up and come with me. I give you my word as rogue trader, you will live. Or give him a painless death. I give you my word, you will live. The rebel looks at you in bewilderment, and then bows low before you. When he speaks, his voice trembles. Your ladyship, thank you. Thank you for this kindness. I never thought I'd survive this. The officer of the wardens casts a disdainful look over the rebel before turning his gaze to you. Your ladyship, I honor your bravery. Please allow me to rid this rat for you. This man is now under my protection. See to it that he is held safely in custody until his fate is decided by fair trial. Escort this man safely to the perimeter of the estate. He is free to go. This man will serve Yanis yet. Consult your advisors and see to it that this rebel is made into a useful servitor. Make an example of this scum. Publicly flay him and string up his corpse outside his family home. As a warning, if anyone tries to remove it, shoot them. Damn. So, what did we promise him? That he wouldn't be hurt? We can't go back to that? That sucks. I promised him that he'd live, right? So we could even give him a fair trial, which is okay. Would it be too naive to just let him go, right? Without verifying all the information he gave us. Like, I feel like he'd have to be an incredible actor for him not to be telling us the truth. I mean, Cassia saw the honest colors, right? If she saw the good colors, then it's probably true. Escort this man safely to the perimeter of the estate. He is free to go. A dumbfounded expression appears on the officer's face. With the deepest respect, your ladyship. The officer thinks better of his next words and abruptly bows. It will be done. Thank you, your ladyship. Without your patronage, I would already be dead. I better not hear that he died later on. Okay. Take all that. Can I access my void ship from here? Yes. Okay. Short-range dorsal macro cannons which fire 2 shots, dealing 14 damage. Medium-range dorsal lance weapons dealing 32 to 40 damage, but only fires 1 shot. Still more than what that could do. Okay. Where would this go? Oops. Here. Okay, so is this our front-facing cannon? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. And what do we got over here?
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
15 bonus to carouse. Who's our carouser? Is that you? Yes. You have 90 carouse. Damn. Is this... What is this? If the wearer didn't spend MP during their turn, they gain 10 to all characteristics next turn. I don't know how often he's going to use that. Oh, that's me. Never mind. Over here. Tough opposed to Medicaid. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I like those. Never mind. 90's fine. Alright. So we did get a journal update, so we should check that. The surviving rebel claims that their leaders are in hiding far away from the population centers. Okay. A Vox recordings of the rebels' conversation will make it possible to launch a large-scale reconnaissance operation. The rogue trader must return to their ship to engage its systems in the search. Okay, so is that where we're going? We should check, did we get that Vox recording? Can I listen to it? Newest. Damaged Vox with a log of the rebels' conversations. I can't use it. Okay, that's fine. Also got those spore berries. I wonder if that's like a indicator of where we should go. Right, dried berries. Maybe there's only certain spots on the planet that have those. Who's this? Yrliet Quint. The stooped man, wearing a cloak of the Adeptus Administratum, is reviewing information on a data slate, while his quietly whirring mechanical arms fill a long scroll with writing. Upon noticing you, the man stretches his thin lips into a smile and deferentially bows. The light in the eyes of the server skull hovering over his right shoulder gently pulsate. Your ladyship, what an honor it is to address you in person. Allow me to introduce myself. Yrliet Quint, Prefectus of the Officio Agricolte. I will preserve the record of our conversation forever. What record of our conversation? What do you think of Vistenza Viat? What do you have to say about the governor's helper, Yrliet? What are your duties here? Tell me about Yanis. Okay. What record of our conversation? Your ladyship, I painstakingly record every conversation with high-ranking personages. And afterward, I fill out all 7 accompanying forms personally. Yrliet rolls up his completed scroll in a practiced gesture, stows it away, and pulls out a new one. Your words and judgments are in good hands. Yrliet's mechanical fingers fly over the scroll as he fills in another line. And of course, what great fortune it is to see, for the very first time in all my years of service, an emissary of the Navas Nobilite here on Yanis. I humbly welcome the esteemed Cassia Tisifia Evriela, Lady Navigator of House Roselio. Everything from her condescending gaze and confident bearing to her calm but commanding voice marks Cassia as the heiress of a great bloodline. Awestruck, the secretary writes down each letter of her name with particular fastidiousness. Laudable foresight. A strange hobby, but you may continue. Stop recording immediately. Laudable. I thank you. Moments such as the appearance of a rogue trader must be preserved for posterity. I agree. What do you think of Vayat? The governor is a superb leader. She possesses an excellent grasp of all matters and never uses an incorrect form for a given situation. I do not pry into her personal affairs, but if I may speak plainly, a lady who fills out paperwork with such finesse cannot be a bad person, in my view. What about the governor's helper? Yrliet looks askance at Yrliet and offers a strained smile. A highly exceptional individual, after today's regretful event. I am beginning to hold her talents in particular esteem. Verily, even mutants who have seen the light of the God Emperor can faithfully serve his flock. Moreover, Yrliet's particular abilities could be an interesting subject of study for the Magos Biologus. That elongated head shape, those eyes, judging by the skull that was given to me, descend on to footfall. Such developmental anomalies on Yanis are not a quirk of nature, but some kind of inheritable trait. Yrliet freezes completely, turning into a living statue. What did you say? Oh, madam, have my words upset you? I'm certain your kinsman would be delighted to learn that people wish to make pretty press paper out of his remains. And besides, I would be wrong about the nature of his origins. What skull are you talking about? Why do you have to send the skull to someone on footfall? I wouldn't mind taking a look at such a remarkable object. What skull are you talking about? A most remarkable item, I must say. A true anomaly. One moment. After rummaging in a nearby container, Yrliet draws out a parcel, which he immediately unwraps. Here it is. I believe the finished piece was intended to be given as a gift to the governor, but under the current circumstances, I doubt I will be able to send it to Footfall anytime soon. Yrliet stares at the skull in silence. You can see her jaw working under her delicate skin. After a few seconds, she abruptly turns away. Pascal's mechadendrites reach toward Yrliet with interest, seeming to unnerve him a little. Adequately preserved, it is a pity that it is empty inside. It could have become a proper server skull, herald, for the rogue trader, unorthodox. A curiosity like this would look very nice on my desk. Remove it from my sight. Repulsive barbarism. Remove it from my sight. Oh yes, of course. Yrliet hurriedly returns the skull to the container. What are your duties here? By the grace of the God Emperor, I oversee the administrative apparatus on the planet and serve as secretary. I'm also responsible for the logistics related to supplying the planets of the Von Valancius dynasty and the timely payment of tithes to the Imperium's official collectors. Speaking of the Von Valancius dynasty, when were the last shipments sent? When did the collector ships last come to Yanis? When were the last shipments sent? Oh, your ladyship, our supply shipments are all in order. All foodstuffs and other items are ready for export, and are simply waiting the arrival of the transport ships. However, given the current circumstances on the planet, Yanis could not provide even one tranche more than what is already prepared. I am certain the situation will be rectified in the near future. When did the collector ships last come? Oops, wrong button. There we go. Oh, your ladyship, I must confess that, as yet, I have not had the pleasure of filling out a sacred tithe protocol form, as the last Imperial ships to come here did so under my predecessor. Come to think of it, that would have been several decades ago. I do hope the logisticians responsible for such an unforgivable oversight lose their heads over this. That's enough. Tell me about Yanis. Alas, your ladyship, rebellions have caused us too many problems in recent times. The rebels are interfering with established processes, interrupting supplies, sabotaging the serfs' work. A few nobles have been killed, and worst of all, some of the victims occupied important administrative posts. Until their replacements pass their checks, complete all their induction forms, and go through the official appointment procedure, important paperwork is going unsigned. It's a bureaucratic catastrophe. The absence of a required signature is, of course, the most horrifying thing about the situation. Indeed it is. Financial reports, logistics directives, way bills for food shipments. Without the signature of the most respected and now deceased head of House Zakaris, shipments to settlements in Aegis 24 have been stopped. The heirs are still dealing with the transfer of holdings, and incoming reports tell us that a quarter of the workings in the affected settlements have already died of starvation, while most of those remaining have left the perimeter and have not yet returned to their designated places. If things continue in this vein, I dare not even imagine what it could lead to. There are worlds that are ravaged by war for generations. Generations, your ladyship. Like that deranged planet by the nameless star, so close to our own peaceful system. The inhabitants were supposedly living under the patronage of rogue trader Winterscale. I shudder to think what he has created there. That was a lot of information. Where have the rebels struck and how? Of course. I would be delighted to furnish you with all the information I have. In the last few months, 15 organized attacks and 7 terrorist attacks have been reported, or perpetrated. Irrigation equipment has been sabotaged in agrarian sectors 3 to 5, transport routes 2-7, 413, and also... I suppose this will not tell you much, please. With a fussy gesture, he presses several buttons on his data slate screen, and a 3-dimensional map with coordinates of the attacks appears on your cogitator. The data is superbly collated, and the map clearly displays the actions of the rebels. At first glance, there seems to be no logic to their campaign, but after analyzing the data and the features of the terrain, you notice a clear system indicating a geographical pattern to the attacks. Who is directing the rebels? The rebels are well armed and well trained. What's more, the governor's advisors are inclined to think that the instigators of the rebellions are very familiar with the planet's terrain and climate. My ordnance are going through registration records day and night, looking for individuals who have completed military training, but we have so far been unable to identify the scoundrel. What are you doing to combat the rebels? Our security services are tracking those who support the rebels, and our regular wardens are wiping out these saboteurs without the slightest mercy. But they keep on appearing. My scribes have been run off their feet, keeping records of all the public hearings and executions. But I am confident that the governor will find a solution soon. That's enough. Of course. What do you know about the attack on the estate? A disgraceful incident, simply disgraceful. I cannot believe these scoundrels would dare to come so close, and to drag the nobility into this as well. If they penetrated the estate, that means that they had some help from some worthless servant or other. Security is currently questioning the servitors, or survivors, but the culprit has not been found. Yet. Yrliet Quint smiles unpleasantly. I'll take my leave. I look forward to meeting you again, your ladyship. Alright. Here's a font of information. So, let's see. We've gone down through here, right? So really, we just have this area left to look. But we are getting a little late in the episode, so I think we are going to wrap it up here. In the next episode, we'll finish looking around this section one more time for any more people that can give us information. And then I guess we're be heading off to our ship to scan the planet and see where we can go. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.